Hello everyone, it's Friday, February 17th, and we're back. Welcome to the 4th edition of ETV Magazine. As always, I'm Cameron Bradley. Every month or so, the school tests out its fire alarms and practices its fire procedure so that all students and faculty can know what to do if the time ever comes where a fire actually occurs. Well, that time came on the morning of January 25th, when smoke was seen coming out of the main office before school began that day. Luckily, it was early enough that not many students had arrived at the school yet. Still, firefighters as well as the police showed up to the school ready for the worst. What they found was the electrical room in the main office producing smoke. This was caused by 4 backup batteries in that room being overheated. Not causing a fire, just smoke. Even though it was just smoke and no fire, it was still a scary moment for all that witnessed it. Up next is something new here we at ETV like to call ETV Conversation. Sit-down segment where we talk with a current faculty member here at Eisenhower and get to know them and their story just a little bit better. On our first edition of this segment, we sit down with Mrs. Audrey Roberts, a longtime Spanish teacher, not just here at EHS, but all around the state and in Missouri, who is going to retire this year at the age of 65. ETV Magazine reporter Lisa McGaffin sits down with Mrs. Roberts to get the story.
For Eisenhower High School, one of our beloved teachers is leaving us. Ms. Roberts expresses how long she's been here and tells us her story.
So, what inspired you to teach Spanish?
Well, to teach Spanish, I went to Spain when I was 15 and spent the summer. I attended university classes and we traveled on weekends and I lived in a dorm and it was just wonderful. I loved it and I had already taken Spanish in high school for 1 year and I made up my mind I wanted to continue studying it.
So can you elaborate on how long you've been teaching?
Well, in the course of the 41 years, I started with Spanish and English. And then for the first year, and then I moved into a little town in Missouri. Both were little towns in Missouri, and they needed a Spanish, English teacher, journalism teacher. And so I fulfilled all of those roles. I did have to go back to school and get certified in journalism, which I did. It was not always easy. It was tough. A lot of times very tough.
So you're going to go into homeschooling when you retire? Is there anything else you're going to do maybe?
Well, family pressures wanted me to be retired already. They just want me available, and my husband wants to travel, and we've got an RV now sitting in our backyard. Got 12 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren, and they've all got stuff, so we'll participate with that, and I've got about 6 in homeschooling, so I'll look forward to helping my daughter with homeschooling.
Have you ever had those kids that kind of you saw something in them and you kind of brought out that potential?
You know, as a teacher, you can pick up on that sometimes. And I've had students that have moved into foreign language as a career. It's just that in the class, they found a love for that subject. And all those experiences help build your character. And somewhere in your life, they're going to benefit you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the students, maybe before you want to, any last inspiring words?
Well, I've been inspired by them. If I've inspired anybody, I'm happy to know that. But mostly it's what I'm taking back with me from them over the years, and it's awesome. Yeah.
For ETV Magazine, I'm Elisa McGaffin.
On to our final topic. The Speak Out program was introduced to our school earlier last semester, giving students who may be bullied or who have suicidal thoughts a chance to let it be known to our counselors anonymously. This program sounds like a great idea to get help to the people who need it, but it also sounds like a system that could easily be abused and used in the wrong way by students. ETV Magazine reporter Jack Beardmore gets you the scoop on the Speak Out program.
Speak Up is a program created for students to anonymously tip off staff about suicidal students or students having problems.
The Speak Up program is something we put in the middle of the fall semester. We haven't had too many issues at all as far as submissions with that have needed to be followed up on. So, it's hard to say if it's helped at this point. Luckily, we haven't had to use it.
The Speak Up program has been a program used by students since late 2016. It has been a big hit for Eisenhower High School.
Of course, anything to help with suicide prevention is always a great thing. Suicide is never the answer.
It is helpful per se, but overall I think that they're just going through the motions.
Some students wonder if the Speak Up program is being abused by other kids.
At this point, I don't think that's happened. It's possible.
Absolutely, I think that it's going to be very easy for students to abuse this.
You know, when it was first launched, signs went out, the counselors put out, and we did some social media about that. There were some initial, which we kind of expected, anonymous tips, because everything is anonymous, that were false. But, since then, it's been very smooth sailing.
So far, we've only had a few tips that have been called in or texted in, and some situations that we've checked out. For the most part, have been tips about possible bullying incidents.
Many students wonder if the Speak Out program is here to stay.
I think so. So we started it, we coordinated with an organization in Wichita, with Wichita schools, and we're kind of utilizing some of their resources right now, and I think it'll be a program that definitely will stick around and hopefully expand as we see fit.
For ETV Magazine, I'm Jack Beardmore.
That wraps it up for me in news. Coming up right after the break is Asa and Toldy with the always entertaining segment, Oh Yeah. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the first Oh Yeah of the semester. Just in case you forgot, I'm Austin Antoli. Let's get rolling. Now, every year, our theater department puts on a musical. Everyone goes and watches it, but the one thing people normally don't see is what goes on backstage. What exactly happens back there? Alexis Cuban finds out the scoop.
When most people think of a production, they think of directors, actors, and writers, but what they don't think of are stage managers and set designers. This year, for the spring production, the theater department put on Shrek the Musical. A lot of work and effort goes into a musical such as this, and we got a closer look behind the scenes.
All right, so stage managers are pretty much my wingmen, women in this case, and they make sure everything runs smoothly. They take attendance, make copies, write down blocking when we start doing blocking in the script, and then basically when the show is undergoing and they are backstage making sure everything's running smoothly.
Stage managers have been helping Miss Bixler by taking role every day. They also help get the cast quiet whenever she's trying to say something, and they help Miss Boxa by helping her get people on stage, get them off stage, and if they have an errand for her to do, then they go and do it.
Every day from 3 to 5, the cast and crew prepared and practiced for the show. Without the people behind the scenes, productions would not run successfully.
I'm in charge of doing stage cues, making sure all of the other crews are in order. I'm in charge of making sure all the actors are at their entrance cues, so if they need to be on stage left at a specific line, I'll tell them. When I'm on stage and I'm doing a set change, I have to wait to cue Chris or whoever's doing the lights that they can bring up the lights, or if there needs to be a sound at any specific point in time, I'll let them know. But with stage managing, it's always something new.
For ETV Magazine, I'm Lexi Cuban.
Who knew there was so much going on backstage? How about winter homecoming though? The boys' dance team killed it out there, while freshmen took home the spirit stick. But watch out for those senior boys and girls who swept the tug-of-war competition. And how could we forget about Neon Night Dance or the King and Queen? Congratulations to Lily McLeod, who was named Homecoming Queen, while yet another ETV Magazine member, Mason Madsey, was named Homecoming King. Now, I've been waiting patiently to introduce this part of the show, where food is consumed and judged to the fullest extent. That's right, here comes At the Table. Welcome to the 6th edition of At the Table. Today we're here at the Lotus Leaf Cafe, a cafe that has vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options. Today we're here with two of our closest friends.
Mr. President, we salute you. Jason Liu.
Yo, it's your boy, Jason. I've been starving all day, and I'm ready to eat.
And our newly crowned queen of our monarchy of EHS, Lily McLeod.
Hey, it's Lily, your queen. Excited to be here. Can't wait to chow down on this meal.
That's right, that's right. We're here to eat and we're going to enjoy ourselves. Well, I'm Austin.
I'm Noah.
And this is At the Table.
Let's go.
All right, we're here at the Lotus Cafe. We got our food. I think it looks pretty good. Well, without further ado, let's dig in. Back here at EHS now, we decided to ponder over what we thought of our food. The final results are in.
I had the average time. The taste was pretty good, but the texture wasn't really that good though. But overall, it was pretty healthy though. So I had to give it a 6 out of 10 Guy Fieri's.
So I had the vegan tacos and they were pretty good. It was a little bit weird sometimes because it was a mixture of sweet and salty. I didn't really know how I felt about that, but overall I'd give it a 7 out of 10 Guy Fieri's.
I had the Triple B, the 3-bean burger, and I was a little skeptical at first because it's a burger made of beans. But then I tried it and I was like, pretty good. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 Guy Fieri's.
Now I had a turkey burger, and it was pretty good. It was a little salty though, and I usually like salt in my food, but it had just a little too much. I feel like it was very dominant in the turkey burger, but the seasoning was good and the food was good. The bun was nice, so I'm gonna have to give it an 8.5 out of 10 Guy Fieri's. Well, that'll do it for this edition of At the Table. Join us next time where we'll go to another restaurant and review that food and see how that tastes. Well, I'm Austin.
And I'm Noah.
And this is At the Table. And now we are no longer at the table. Who knew such a convenient and unique eating place existed? Well, that does it for this edition of Oh Yeah? Coming up next is Sam the Man Diebler with the latest from IKE Sports.
Welcome back to IKE Sports, your home for everything sports here at EHS. I'm Sam Diebler. The girls basketball team has struggled this year with their lack of depth on the bench and other issues on the court. This is shown in their winless record. Can the girls get a win this year? IKE Sports reporter Mason Madzi gets you the scoop.
This season, the girls basketball team has struggled. In a year that seems lost, coaches and players must find a way to improve.
We've seen a lot of improvement. I know that the young girls are starting to do some things that are more evident in the upperclassmen, starting to work more as a team, starting to get a little more balanced scoring.
Get some more confidence. Our underclassmen kind of lack some confidence, and I think once they get their confidence up, we can string more things together and we'll get there.
Even in a down year, there are always positives taken away from each game.
I mean, we just kind of all have good attitudes towards like just the team, and we're more of a family this year. So
most of our practices, for the most part, are pretty fun, and really kind of just messing around with Macy and having fun with all my teammates really gets me through.
Mallory Miller has recently broken the 1,000 point mark, and this is one of the few bright spots for this team. Her leadership on and off the court helped push the team forward.
Mallory's still doing a great job of taking the brunt of the load. She's been a nice leader to kind of help the young girls along.
I just try to be a good leader and keep a positive attitude and don't be negative and try not to, yell at my teammates.
For Ike Sports, I'm Mason Madzi.
Thanks, Mason. Next up is bowling. Both teams have performed solidly this season, and while it may seem like they aren't as strong as last year, they're still very much in play for yet another state title. Ike Sports reporter Michael Greening goes down to the lanes to get you the story.
The bowling team has had an impressive record of representing Eisenhower as 3-time state titleists since 2012. Despite this, the talk here at home hasn't been all positive.
We're probably not appreciated as much because we're not a contact sport. People don't come out and watch us because nobody really cares what we're doing.
I think others perceive bowling as just a sport where they go out to have fun and not actually try to take it serious.
I think the challenge for bowling as a sport is that it hasn't been around as long as some of the mainstream sports like football, basketball, baseball. So if we can just encourage them to use this as an opportunity to gain recognition not only for their sport but as an individual, then I think that serves as motivation.
Without much support, their team continues to perform well, showing that they are very self-motivated.
Regionals and state motivates me to get better because those are like the two biggest things that you want to win.
Well, I think it's going to take a lot of practice. We're going to be bowling on sport shot, which is different than what you normally bowl on. It's a lot harder.
To be a state champ, you have to have good mental preparedness and be physically ready.
I think hopefully as the year goes on and the students continue to improve, and as they've done so far this season, that it will allow more people to hear about it, to read about it. The newspaper and our school has been promoting it. There are publications outside of school that promote high school sports, and so it's starting to get more recognition outside of the school, and so hopefully that will give students an opportunity to gain that recognition as well.
For Ike Sports, I'm Michael Greening.
Thanks, Michael. Finally, we have a different kind of story. Matt Pyle and Mallory Miller have both played high-level basketball for several years here at EHS. They have been recognized as some of the best high school players in the nation. Both received nominations for the McDonald All-American game. Ike Sports reporter Trey Greening gets you the story.
In mid-January, Matt Pyle and Mallory Miller were both nominated to have a chance to play in the McDonald's All-American game. The nomination was definitely one to excite both of them.
Felt great. It was just a huge honor, even though we didn't actually get to play in the game.
It's an honor to be able to coach somebody that not only can play at a high level, but is a good enough student and excels in the classroom and on the court.
It's an honor. I know, but I couldn't have done it with all the other people around me.
It feels good. I like the fact that the program is recognized, and Matt has worked hard on and off the court.
With a lot of nominations to compete against, they still found a way to be in the top 400 players to be selected.
Coach Blue nominated me and Mallory.
The way it's done is you have to fill out some forms online and put some information. You have to have good numbers from the previous season along with good academics. And then they have a committee that goes through and selects everyone based on, a combination of academics and athletics.
They haven't just worked hard academically, but also at their technical game as well.
I've been working on my shooting since I was a little kid, always trying to improve on that. Always been working on my ball handling skills since those definitely need to improve.
Getting stronger and then becoming quicker and more explosive.
They may not have actually made the game, but it shows a lot about the individuals selected for this honor.
Matt has worked hard on and off the court, and I think that's a big part of the process is, you work off the court also. You got to be a good student, great character, and I think it really just gives a boost to our program and, recognizes our program as having some elite players on it.
For Ike Sports, I'm Trey Greening.
Great story, Trey. Well, that's about it for the 4th edition of Ike Sports and ETV Magazine. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Ike Sports News for everything sports here at EHS. For Ike Sports and ETV Magazine, I'm Sam Diebler, and we will see you next time.